What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to NerdWide Podcast. This is episode 39, and I'm right here sitting virtually beside Mr. Chris Rivers, my favorite co-host. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing,
All
Tyler?
right, I am well.
Yeah.
It's been a week full of video game news and conferences and all sorts of fun Destiny stuff, so I cannot complain whatsoever. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to get into it and talk
Yeah.
about. We also did our movie list between you, I, and my wife, and for the Halloween stuff, we had some good TV shows this week. It's gonna be a good podcast. Not a whole lot of news again, but we're gonna have some fun with our content, what we're gonna watch, and things like that going forward. Oh, I can't wait. Episode 39. Let's get into some quick housekeeping real quick. Don't forget to subscribe to either our YouTube or podcasting services of your choice. If you enjoy the show, make sure you leave us a thumbs up on YouTube or give us a good rating for podcasting apps. If you don't enjoy what you like to see or hear, make sure you leave us a comment down below. Let us know what we can do to improve and what specifically you didn't like so we can improve this podcast. If you want to go the extra mile, though, you can always go to patreon.com/nerdwide. Toss us a couple bucks that way if you want to go that extra mile. Chris, we had some TV shows this week. But first, I want to get
Yep.
into. Did you watch anything else besides what we watched?
No, I didn't really get to anything else.
Hmm.
We've been we've been busy at work trying to avoid overtime, so
That's always fun, isn't it? I know
yeah.
we are watching Bachelor in Paradise, which is raunchier than Bachelor or Bachelorette, let me tell you. But it's a lot more fun. And then we're all caught up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Of course, we watch The Big Brother, all 3 episodes every week. And then I also watch Stargirl, which pertains more to this show. And this week we saw a new hero come about. We saw a villain, kind of see what he was up to. The Green Lantern not really in it, so I'm very curious to see where we're going to go from this way forward, because she was at the end of the episode last time, and they didn't even mention her. So I'm like, when did they film this? Maybe it was I don't know, but it was good. I'm still really enjoying Stargirl. So if you ask me, that is.
Cool. So maybe they're just waiting an episode or two to come back to the Green Lantern stuff, hoping to build anticipation.
That's what I'm hoping for, because I mean, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's because of CGI and budget, but the same thing, the new hero had just as much CGI, if not more. So I don't know what really went on, but who knows? But what if? Nice little segment into our first TV show this week, which was what if the world lost its mightiest heroes. Of course, spoiler tags are always up for when we talk about our weekly TV shows. And this one was fun. I enjoyed this one probably just as much as the T'Challa one last week. This one was pretty cool. I meant to pull up the cast list, but I did enjoy this one. What about you, Chris?
Yeah. This was a really fun episode. Um, it's always interesting to kind of with certain characters like Black Widow. We knew that ScarJo wasn't voicing it, so I was kind of paying a little bit more attention to that dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
trying to see, does this work for me? Because it is different. Um, but I love the way that they went about kind of
The
eliminating
right.
all the different
Well,
all the different
that
people.
was crazy to me was who the villain was, because
Hmm.
I was speculating the whole time. I was like, oh, I think it's really Loki playing everybody, but no, it was Hank Pym getting
Uh-huh.
revenge on his from his daughter, and I was just
Now,
like,
was that really Michael Douglas?
yes, it was.
Okay.
So I mean,
It's just at points it sounded like him, but at other points I was like, nah, that may just be someone
it
else.
it looks like the only one that there was three. So Samuel L. Jackson was Nick Fury, Hank Pym, Lake Bell played Natasha Romanoff, Mike Winger obviously played Tony Stark, Clark Gregg coming back to the MCU. I
Uh,
was very excited to
yep.
hear his voice and see him in the show.
Yeah.
And then it looks like Betty Ross And then Michael Patch as General Ross as well was different actors. Well, I guess Carol Danvers. Well, there was a lot more um, people that weren't who they were in this one than the past ones have been. But we did get Jamie Alexander back, so I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, yeah. Now the whole thing with Thor is that he never has to say anything, so they didn't really.
Right. They didn't have to put Chris Hemsworth in it, which he would have.
Right.
I mean, if he voiced a
Was that
frog in Loki.
Ruffalo?
Yep.
Okay, because I was like, that definitely sounds like him, but
Yeah,
you
they.
never know.
I thought it was fun the way that they eliminated each of the characters, and
Yeah, especially Hulk.
yeah, just made his heart explode. Like just keep growing until it exploded. I was like, that's one way to do it. The whole Tony Stark
Yeah.
scene where Hank Pym flew through the pen and killed him, and I was like, this is some top notch stuff. But
Uh-huh.
it's always fun to visit things like that.
It is.
I wonder.
And then
Go ahead.
and then at the end, Loki takes over the world basically because there's no Avengers to stop him.
Right. And that was my question. Do we? I was looking for next week's episode. No, there's no indication of what it is. But I was wondering if it was going to be a continuation of this one. But no, I guess I'm just going to leave it as is because, Carol Danvers came there and I guess that was it. So,
Yeah.
just what a good show. I can't.
It was a yeah. And it's still my favorite thing about it's the animation
Hmm.
style.
Oh, the
They're
fight
just
scenes were
killing
so
it.
good in this one. Like
Yeah.
the mystery of who Thor was coming through that camp, which we knew who it was, and
Hmm.
Clint killing him, although it wasn't really him that killed him. So it was just
Right.
the way they
And
were
that's
all
another
going
one.
against each other.
That's another one. Jeremy Renner
Hmm.
was in this. So
I wonder when all these people recorded all this, because that's just. I love that Clark Gregg was in it. I love Clark Gregg was in it. Jamie Alexander. I mean, I think those are my favorite two out of the whole cast.
they probably did it over quarantine because if they have the right setup, they can do that from home.
That's true. And
And
I'm sure Marvel
just
would send them the right setup too, anyways, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Oh,
minor expense.
all right. So that was What If. Let's transition right into DC's Titans Episode 5 Lazarus. We finally got the backstory to Red Hood, essentially from him coming back from San Francisco all the way up until now, where we were in the forest with Nightwing and Scarecrow. I thought this was a really good episode. I didn't know I really wanted it until we got it. And
Hmm.
seeing him be manipulated, which is always what happens to Jason Todd, I feel like, since we've seen him in this
Yeah,
show, he's just manipulated.
it's very emotional.
Yeah, and the him at the very end where he actually donned the red hood and went and killed in that drug lord and was
Yeah,
kidnapping people for the Joker. Thought that was so cool. I just love this show, and I'm really glad it's doing well. I don't feel like enough people are talking about it as they should. But this episode was really cool. I really enjoyed um, Jason and Bruce's relationship more than I thought I
yeah,
would in this one because we got a little bit more of their backstory and we saw a Gotham alumni, Doctor. Uh, she I know exactly who
Tompkins,
played her, Doctor Thompson
Tompkins,
Tompkins.
right?
Yeah,
Tompkins.
and Leslie Tompkins,
Yeah,
and of course Jim Gordon love affair at one point in time.
yeah, yeah. You know, interesting to see Eve Harlow in this as well. She played Molly,
Hmm.
and we know her also from Agents of Shield
Yep.
as Tess. And what was it, the final season or next to last season when
Yeah,
they were in space?
yeah, that was the last one, the second to last.
Yeah. So she's in this, but we kind of called it, right? Because we were speculating before. How did Jason Todd come back?
Hmm.
It was the Lazarus
A
pit.
secret Lazarus pit, even Bruce Wayne didn't know about.
Yep.
And how do you,
So
man? how betrayed is Batman right now and Nightwing? Because I mean, he told him every single little secret,
Yeah.
and he was even manipulated into making a formula that erases all emotions, and that's what we saw
Hmm.
him huff on before he got killed by the Joker. Because we never knew what that
Hmm.
drug was, and now we know it was to take all emotions out. Originally, it was to take fear away, but I think it does more than that. So it just makes him just a blank slate.
But I see that, to me, that was a little bit of a plot hole because when he's about to get whacked by Joker, puts his arms up,
Mm-hmm. A little scared. Could have
which is a
wore
fear
out,
reaction.
or you're right. So I mean, I don't know.
Um, but yeah, Bruce in this episode calls him son,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't back down from that. He lets him know that that's how he sees him, which makes the betrayal even worse. I mean, you got to think, if you're Bruce, after hearing that Jason was dead, he kills the Joker.
Yeah, and now we know more so what his motivation was behind that.
Yeah. But then to be betrayed in the aftermath by him becoming the Red Hood,
Well, see, Bruce
helping
doesn't know anything about
Scarecrow.
that yet. Doesn't know about any of it.
That's true. Yeah. But man, it's gonna be rough.
God, it's so good. This show is just so good. I can't wait for.
Gonna
Like,
be
this is the
rough.
one show I am literally looking forward to every week.
We also got a glimpse for the first time this season of Donna Troy.
Oh, we sure did. In his nightmares. I mean,
Hmm.
we know her and Raven come back because they're plastered all over the splashed cards, title cards, and everything for this show. Like when you go to HBO Max, it's the new season with Jason Todd and the Red Hood, and you see them in their new outfits. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right, let's go.
They
I'm
just
ready
need to
for
hurry
this.
up.
Right.
This was episode 5, and we're going to 13,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We're almost halfway
So
through it.
only, yeah.
Nothing yet.
They might want to pick up the pace a little
Yeah.
bit.
And speaking of pace, hold on, that's going to come into a later movie we talk about. But I feel like this episode was much needed. We got to see a lot instead of dragging out what happened and who and all the whole Red Hood backstory was. We got it all in one episode. Now we can move
Right.
forward. We can do this chess match between Nightwing and Jason Todd, and now Dr. Crane. And I am all in. But that's the one thing, though. Dr. Crane knows everything about them now, like literally everything. And I'm sure he knows everything about the Titans, but he doesn't know about Blackfire. So,
No, he doesn't.
mm-mm. So
Uh,
we'll
and I
see.
think that's going to be one of those things where even though she and Starfire don't get along,
Mm-hmm.
like that's her blood,
Right,
you know. So if he tries to hurt Starfire, she's going to hurt him. Then she'll try and hurt Starfire.
right.
It's
It's
going to be one of those things.
one of the little
Like
triangles.
I can try and kill my sister, but you can't.
Right. She's mine, not anybody else's in the world,
Right.
or other worlds for this matter. I don't know. I love Titans. I can't wait.
Hmm.
I can't wait for more.
And we're just what, about 3.5 weeks away now from the time we record this from getting Doom Patrol.
Mm-hmm. Which I need to catch up on that before I do anything really. I'm gonna do that this week, or try to at least. Because there's other shows that noticed that Kung Fu was on HBO Max. I've been wanting to check it out from CW, and
Yeah.
I might check it out. I'm gonna check a lot of things. I got a whole list on my phone now, so I don't forget what I want to watch. Because there's been this past month or two, I'm like, I've been saying I want to watch something, I cannot remember what it was. So every time I want to watch something, movies, anything, I keep it on a list. Part of
There
getting
you
old,
go.
I guess. Some people tell me. News this week. We just got 4 news stories for you. First one is Netflix has announced it is hosting its own global event called To Doom. And it came with a nice little trailer of all of course, it's the sound from when Netflix starts up, To Doom, or however you want to pronounce it. You can see a bunch of different celebrities trying to announce it in the trailer for this event. I'm going to TechCrunch.com by Aisha Malik. Netflix has announced To Doom, a global virtual event set for September 25th that will showcase exclusive news and first looks at some of the streaming giant's original content. To Doom, which is named after the sound users hear when they press play on Netflix, will feature stars and creators from over 70 Netflix series, films, and specials. Quote, "It's our first ever global To Doom event. Our goal is simple: to entertain and honor Netflix fans from across the globe," a spokesperson for Netflix told TechCrunch in an email. And of course, you can see the trailer wherever you want to see it. It's got Idris Elba, Ryan Reynolds, Henry Cavill, Chris Hemsworth, of course, from the movie we reviewed last week. And the event will feature interactive panels and conversations with the creators and stars of some of Netflix's most popular shows, including Stranger Things, Emily in Paris, The Witcher, The Crown, Cobra Kai, and Bridgerton. Netflix will also feature some of its popular films, including Red Notice, Don't Look Up, Extraction, The Harder to Fall, and The Old Guard, and more. So I'm excited.
Old Guard.
Of course, this is similar to Disney Plus's stuff that they do every year, and same thing that DC Fandom, I guess, is what you relate it to as well. I don't know. I'm excited about that. That day is going to be an extremely busy day for me. Just letting you know, because I want to try and watch that. Next story we got here, Superman and Lois will be on HBO Max in its entirety on September the 17th. Make sure you catch it all there. It's already been renewed for a second season, but still.
Let me ask you, do you think that it'll make a difference being able to binge it as opposed to watching it week to week?
I think wondered that as well. Yeah, it's one of those because we had so many breaks with this show. And we've talked about it multiple times, and we've questioned it multiple times. Did that impact our feelings on it, as we came across it? And I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's a more bingeable show just because of the breaks. Same thing with Supergirl, the last Supergirl season that's on right now. I mean, they took like a 6, 7, 8 week break between like several episodes. I'm just like, and how are you going to do that for your last season?
Yeah.
But what do I know?
I don't. Yeah.
Pandemic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of the CW verse, number 3, the Flash 5-part crossover event will feature Batwoman, Black Lightning, The Atom, Mia Queen, Sentinel, Ryan Choi, Reverse Flash, and Damien Dark. And I guarantee Green Lantern is a part of this. They're just keeping it on the hush hush. They don't want to give away their all of their tricks right now.
Yeah.
So
I like that we're getting the Atom back.
Mm-hmm. Mia Queen as well. So
Mia Queen.
We haven't seen her since Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Damien Dark is always in the show. Of course, we've got Brandon Root, like you said, Sentinel, Ryan Choi making a comeback. So Black Lightning has been off for a whole season, and because the show ended. So I'm very good to have him back. Oh, I just can't wait. That's gonna be one of those ones that I can't watch live because Hulu doesn't show CW live. It's just one of the channels doesn't have, but it will always be on the day after. There's got to be some sort of contract there. And our next and last news story for this week, Cobra Kai has been renewed for season 5 ahead of its season 4 premiere. All in. I love Cobra Kai. The only thing I worry about is they start doing this thing where TV shows go on for too long and the story suffers from it. And I was kind of hoping season 4 would be the last one because all the stories would be wrapped up. But
maybe 5 is going to be it.
Yeah.
5's a nice number to end on.
Yeah, I would think so. Because all these kids are growing up. I mean, they don't look like high schoolers anymore. So maybe we see what happens after high school, but who knows? And as far as releases this week for August 30th to September 5th, nothing. Not a TV show coming up at all.
All right. Well, on to movies. Let's go ahead and get into this because we have a lot of discussion.
Let's do it.
Some other things popping. Have you watched anything other than our movie of the week?
I actually watched The Incredibles 2 this week. And for the first time. Like I've mentioned before, Kind of Funny is doing a Pixar rewatch. And so I'll watch the movies that I've never seen before. And The Incredibles 2 was it. And it's actually not a bad movie. And It came out in 2018, and we're height of still when Marvel is still going strong, and for them to put out a superhero movie amongst it felt good. I loved it. So
Yeah, 18, that was that Infinity War or was that sandwich?
I
Like,
think
was Infinity War 17?
I think Infinity War was Infinity War was 18 because 2019 was
Okay,
Endgame.
Endgame.
So I mean,
They
all around
didn't
the
know
same
how
time.
right they were,
Right.
right?
Oh.
And then 2020 was Endgame for everybody. Um, so, um, Six Underground was our movie this week,
Mm-hmm.
and stars Ryan Reynolds. He's the big name in the
He's
film.
one.
No, no offense to anybody else, but he's the guy that they put his face on the splash image, the
Right.
thumbnails. Um, yeah, his character is known as One. He's a tech billionaire who fakes his death so that he can go underground and take out the bad people that no one else wants to take out. And he forms this team of other people that do the same, that have different disciplines. Um, there's a doctor, a spy, a hitman. Um, there's a Skywalker, which is
Yep. Free runner.
those scenes. Those scenes were really fun to
Mm-hmm.
watch. Uh, I'm like, there's no way I'd be up there. No, no,
No, there
not
was
doing that.
when he was climbing the one building in Hong Kong, the white like kind of dome thing, and he was kind of going straight up it. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, the at the very beginning,
Mm.
the first time we really see him, when he runs down the
Yeah,
dome
just why
partway
not?
and then slides. Yeah,
Nope,
it's like, no,
not for me.
no. Um, but then he also recruits another soldier, uh, a sniper,
Who was about to kill
to
himself.
yeah, to join the team. So the plot is that they are overthrowing this dictator in Turkestan, I
Mm-hmm.
think is the official country, and they're going to displace him and put his brother, who's all for democracy, in place because the United States put this dictator in place because they had similar interests and they felt they could control him. So they
America
put him
wouldn't
in
really
place.
do that, would they?
Oh yeah, we would. Uh, they've done it for years.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he he gets his just desserts, so to speak, because at the end, just to jump there real quick, they have him in the helicopter and they get really low over one of the streets where all these people are gathering that can't stand this guy,
Oh, the rebels.
and they just drop him out, and we don't see fully what happens to him,
Oh, we know
but
what
I'm
happens to
guess,
him.
guessing he doesn't survive.
Right.
One guy just runs up behind him and whacks him with
It's a baseball
a
bat.
bat in the face. Just wow. Um, it's a fun film. There's not a lot of major. I feel like there's not a lot of major plot points. It's a shoot 'em
No.
up. It's you get a couple of nice things with characters where the spy and the hitman um, they develop a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, the hitman's mom is in a assisted living facility in Las Vegas, and she the spy uh, she goes to the home with the hitman to visit his mom
Mm-hmm.
because he wants his mom to meet her. Um, so I could easily see this having a part two.
I would be okay with it. I mean,
Yeah,
this film to me, I enjoyed it. My biggest issues were the pacing of it because I don't feel like it. One, I feel like it was a little too long, and two, there were just some things that were just very unnecessary. The very beginning of the film was cool. I like we're thrown into this whole first mission. Um, don't really know what's going on. I feel like it was really drug out. Like that was
yeah,
such a drawn out thing.
It was.
But it's
I did
Michael
like the
Bay, so
eyeball.
do it.
I did like the eyeball.
The whole eyeball scene was fun. I mean, it was a cool movie, great visual effects. I mean, to me, I put on Letterboxd 2.5 stars, which
Yeah.
is like a C-D+ area for me, just because the pacing, like it just wasn't very. I mean, I won't never watch it again. It was just. I mean, I would like another one just because it was a fun movie, just not very
Yeah.
memorable. It was just one of your classic action movies that was just okay to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was the same way. I think I put 3 stars on it just because it was so fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those that if you don't want to have to think about what you're watching, if you
Mm-hmm.
just want to have something on that you're gonna enjoy the high spots, and some of the the dialogue and the moments in the film that you're gonna want to see again, you're gonna put this on, and you don't really have to pay. It sounds bad to say that you don't have to pay a lot
Yeah.
of attention to it, but like we said, there's not a deep plot here. Um, there's not a real investment in these characters,
Mm-mm.
except for Seven,
Yeah.
which you get a little bit of his story. You see his funeral where everybody's
his
mourning him.
his brother was cracking me up.
Yeah,
He said you should have seen
yeah.
him during Coco. Oh god, I liked
So
Ryan Reynolds' character. One, I liked his little bit of a backstory. I think we got one's backstory, Seven's backstory. I think, and four a little bit. The other ones were really didn't get that much of a backstory towards, and
right,
I guess a little bit of three. But one, he invented the trackers, the technology that the world has and America has, where they can the digital footprint tracking and things like that. He
mm,
invented that, and then he invented these crazy magnetic devices that he uses throughout the whole movie. It was very
yep,
cool, especially like the last scene with the boat. Well, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, just C+, C-D+ for me.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of is what it is. I feel like these ensemble extraction team type of
Mm-hmm.
type of films. Um, Not that that's what the old guard was, but it kind of has a similar vibe,
Right.
and I'm comparing it to that, and that was so good
Yeah.
that it's like, okay,
I'm ready
all
for the
right,
old
this
guard
is
too.
just, yeah, we, yeah, absolutely. Put a pin in it. We'll get there. Uh, all right. So next week, um, we're gonna try and get to Shang-Chi.
Yep.
Hopefully, we can watch it this weekend. It'll have its own episode, most likely. Um, but starting next week, we're gonna go ahead and get into our Halloween horror film reviews. Right. So Tyler's loving this. He
it's
actually is really excited.
so we each picked some. So I think Chris had 8 on his. My wife and myself both had 5. So how we're going to do this is for our list of how we're going to Halloween Kills is obviously on it. That's going to be the week it comes out. That will be that week's movie to review. So we're going to have to narrow this down. Well, how we're going to narrow it down is we're going to do a random picker wheel is what I've got over here. So I'm just going to keep hitting spin, and whatever pops up is what we're going to do and what order we're going to do it in. But first, I want to read off our list of what's in the picker wheel here. I'm going to start with mine. I've got Halloween Town from Disney, the original Halloween, Ghostbusters, A Quiet
Oh, there
Place,
you
and Labyrinth. Labyrinth
go.
I've
Ooh, wow.
seen a long time ago, because I don't very remember it that much. But the one with
David Bowie
yeah, David Bowie. So
and Jennifer Connelly.
mm-hmm. What you got, Chris?
Oh, you want me to read mine?
Yeah, I want you to read yours. I want to know what it is.
All right. Um, let's see here. Let me pull it back up. So I started my list off with Freaks,
Okay.
from 1932, directed by Todd Browning. who also directed Universal's original Dracula. This is about what at the time were referred to as sideshow freaks, and they actually used the real sideshow people in this. That's the cast.
That's pretty cool.
So, kind of cool. Then from 1960 we got Psycho. Of course.
I've seen that on a lot of lists.
Yeah. There's not much to say about it except, yep, Psycho. Then from 1999, The Blair Witch Project. And then I added another found footage with that 2007's Paranormal Activity. Then went to 1980's The Shining.
That's one I do want to see.
Yeah. 2017's Get Out.
That one too.
2019's Us.
That one.
And then 2007, Carved. And Carved is an Asian horror film. I can't recall offhand. I think it's Japanese, because the story is about the wife of a samurai who he suspects of cheating on her.
Oh.
So cheating on him, so he slices her face from the corners of her mouth.
Is this a Joker origin story, or?
But it's really good. This is during the prime years for Asian horror.
Okay.
When they were way outdoing American horror. So, yeah, good one.
Let's see. In my wife's pick, we've got Scream, the original, House of a Thousand Corpses, Saw, Final Destination, and Ma, M.A., not Massachusetts. So, those are all of our list. Let's see what we are watching next week with our first pick. And spin. You can hear it if you're listening to the audio versions. Freaks is number 1. Ooh. Starting off with that one, I'm going to turn this volume down. That might have been a little loud. All right. So we're going to hide choice. Number 2. Spinning. Scream. The original Scream will be the week after.
That'll be good.
And we are doing 8 of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and write these out.
We will have some backups, guys, just in case. If we have a really light week, we may watch 2. So.
Yep, I need to take Scream off of the list. Where is it at? Okay, here we go. Number 3. Psycho. That's okay. No one's picking any of mine. That's all right. We're just not going to worry about that one. Not a big deal. Let's spin again. Come on, Halloween Town. Okay. We're going to Ma for number 4.
Tyler, you're getting shut out.
Don't know what this is. I don't like it. Let's keep going. For number 5. Carved it is. All right. This is... Did I even put mine in? Where's Carved at? Okay, Carved's off the list. 3 more to go. All right, Halloween Town. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters for number 6. And that would be good for, hopefully, if it doesn't get delayed, the new movie coming out.
Yeah.
Number 7. Nope, I'm going to take Ghostbusters off because we don't want it to respin on it. Here we go. And we have A Quiet Place, number 7.
Another one of yours, right?
Do what?
Was that one of yours or Jamie's?
That was mine. Also, two back to back. Suck on that one, Chris. And number 8 to round us out is going to be Get Out.
That's one you wanted to watch.
I mean, I was going to watch it regardless. So some of these too, we can, if we have a light news week, we're going to double up on some of these movies so we can, fill in a little bit of content here. So if the movies that you want that we had on here for anybody that you're hoping we watch, we still potentially could watch. Just these are our primaries for now, if you will. So we've got Halloween Kills whenever it comes out. This week's movie we're watching is Freaks. Next one is Scream. Then Psycho, then Ma, then Carved, Ghostbusters, A Quiet Place, and Get Out. And I don't know much about Ma, but I'm liking that there's only one ghost movie on here. So we're just going to put that in there. Just going to throw my 2 cents in. I think, right?
Okay.
Psycho's not a ghost movie, is it?
No.
Okay, phew. We don't know about A Quiet Place or Get Out. So somehow I have avoided. No, Quiet Place is aliens.
They're not ghosts. Yeah, they're not ghost movies.
Dodged a bullet because we might have to flip a coin one of these other weeks. I hope we just have nonstop news for the next 2 months. Anyways, all right, Chris, what we got for our notable news for this week?
Notable news. First off, Zack Snyder's Army of Thieves, the prequel to Army of the Dead, gets a October 28th, 21 release date. I think it's safe to say we're going to be watching that.
Yeah. I'm excited about that one too.
It's going to be fun. Second up, well, actually, Tyler, I'm going to save number 2 for number 4.
That sounds good.
Because there's going to be a lot of discussion around that, I'm sure. So the new number 2, The Matrix 4, is titled Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah, it is. Do we think we're getting a reboot, or because I mean, technically both of them died at the end of Matrix. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, they're being resurrected. They're taking them to the Lazarus pit in Gotham, and they're gonna throw them in.
Bring them back for some reason.
The Old Guard 2 sets Victoria Mahoney at the helm with Charlize Theron and main cast returning.
All in. I'm so excited.
Definitely watching that.
Mm-hmm.
If I die before it releases, I'm going to come back just to watch it.
Somehow, some way.
Somehow, some way. And finally, in the news items, and here's our discussion piece for news. Spider-Man No Way Home trailer dropped, and it is full of Easter eggs. It's also now the trailer with the most global views in 24 hours, beating the Avengers Endgame trailer, which had 289 million views in its first 24 hours. Spider-Man No Way Home has 355.5 million views.
It doubled it. I just don't understand. But I mean, you said yourself in the pre-show you watched it, maybe 5 times? And I think I watched it for sure 3 or 4 times, if not more. I mean, I remember I stayed up late because there were rumors of it. Brandon Davis, of course, our friend from comicbook.com, was tweeting. He says, any minute now. It was all he was tweeting. He goes, okay, any minute now. And then it dropped, and the internet went ablaze, Chris. Like all of Twitter was, here it is. And it was so good. And like we didn't talk about this before, but I don't want another trailer. I want this to be it. I don't want to be spoiled of anything else that's coming into this, because they did show some, and some people are saying they showed a lot, and I don't want any more, but I am all in on this movie.
You know, the thing is, though, with Marvel, you just don't know how much they've really shown, because they filmed scenes specifically for the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of open up the discussion here on what we saw, there's a scene at the end of the trailer where we see Otto Octavius.
It's Alfred Molina.
And he looks ahead of him and says, "Hello, Peter."
Mm-hmm.
Now, what people have brought up, very good point here, he doesn't know Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
Right.
So who is he saying hello, Peter to?
Mm-hmm.
They then cut to a shot. They cut to a shot of Tom Holland on top of a car, and his Iron Spider armor activates,
Right.
and he's in his fighting stance.
He's a poser.
That could be a separate scene, or they could have just filmed Tom Holland in that scene for the purpose of that point in the preview
Mm-hmm.
in the trailer. We don't know.
There's a whole lot to digest. A lot of people are saying in this trailer there is a Tom Holland's in a suit and there's a figure behind him in the darkness. Some people are saying that's the lizard back there behind him. Again,
Yeah.
tying it into Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Some people have said, well, I don't know, that could be the lizard or it could be Venom. Looks kind of like it. I don't think so, but
They wouldn't do Venom.
no. And so I'm just because I feel like they're going to stick to characters we already know of, and
Right.
we see Electro's electricity in this one. We know he's not blue, but we know Jamie Foxx is returning for Electro. But in that same scene, there's a bunch of sand. So they're saying Sandman's going to return, and with all of this coming on,
Church.
yeah, and everyone's saying we're making a Sinister Six is what we're doing for this movie. We see Black Suit Spider-Man, which was been leaked and things from like pop collections and action figures. It's been kind of leaked. Don't know. It's obviously not Venom Spider-Man. But the biggest thing to me that I was laying in bed, and I almost screamed a little bit because I was just so damn excited, was William Dafoe's voice. And we're assuming it was William Dafoe's voice.
His laughter.
Yeah, and then we see the Green Goblin bomb roll on the overpass. And I'm like, oh my God, we're getting a Green Goblin in this too.
Yeah, there was a video that I sent your way, and I'm having trouble remembering the channel that did this. Let me see if I can spot it here. I'll just pull it up. The video is from New Rockstars, and they do a breakdown, and they freeze framed this spot in the trailer when you start to see one of Octavius's arms come up.
Mm-hmm.
We've already seen the pumpkin bomb, and you can see this little bit of green light,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can hear what sounds like the Green Goblin's. I keep wanting to call it a hoverboard.
That works. A little jet thingy.
I can't think of the actual name of it right now, but you can hear that like it's taken off.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is the thing about if anyone else had put a trailer out like this, you would be guaranteed that these things are in the movie.
Right.
But we don't know with Marvel. They could just do this all as a smoke screen.
They do it all the time. And the people get mad when they do it. But here's another thing that we haven't talked about. Matt Murdock was in this movie. We do know that Charlie Cox has been confirmed for on set. But in this trailer, we see him. Because there's a guy that slaps down a thing of files. And it's clearly his arm.
Yeah.
And they kept it very hidden. But even the first half of this trailer, I really liked because they had the sorry, Stella is very upset. There was we're doing the Reaper, like we're starting straight off of Far From Home. Like we're seeing him and Mary Jane swinging with Jonah Jameson saying the menace, the whole freak thing. Just I love it. Oh, right. This is gonna be such a good movie. And everyone is saying the devil in disguise is a sign to Mephisto because if you think about it, when WandaVision was released, the whole Mephisto theories came about.
Right.
And this was when this was filming, so there's no way that they didn't try and play that in there because they're just being funny at this point. So,
yeah.
But
yeah, because we haven't even brought up Doctor Strange.
Right. We haven't brought him up at all.
He's kind of what kicks a lot of this off because Peter goes to him, and this isn't spoilery. This is kind of the main plot of the movie. He wants to know if Strange can cast a spell to make everyone forget he's Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And Strange is like, yeah, I can. Wong tells him not to.
Yeah, Wong's going on vacation.
Yeah. And for some reason, the Sanctum is frozen.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know why, but it's like a big freezer. Strange is wearing his Columbia University hoodie under
What did you
his
see the cape on it? Yeah,
uh-huh.
I thought it was so cool.
Yeah. But he starts to cast the spell, and Peter jumps into the middle of it because he realizes he doesn't want Aunt May to forget that he's Spider-Man. He doesn't want Mary Jane to forget that he's or MJ to forget that he's
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. He doesn't want Ned to forget that he's Spider. So he has these caveats, and Strange is like, "You're messing with the spell," and then it just goes haywire, and all these colors start shooting out, and it's everything's intertwined, and you start to see like New York City looks like it's dropping into the void, and
Right.
he tells him you've messed with. I think he says the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't he?
The time space continuum, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So that's where we're going to get the multiverse of madness.
Well, see, that was what my brother and I were talking about once we watched the trailer that night on Monday night when it came out. Do you think that it wasn't Peter that messed with it, or do you think it was Loki that messed with it while they were trying to do the spell at the same time, kind of like a simultaneous event? I mean, he brought that there. I was like, it could be, or Peter just as a teenager messed something up, as most
Yeah,
teenagers would at that point. But so I don't know. I was like, oh, that
that is
could be.
possible.
So what a time to be alive.
Possible.
This Christmas.
Can't wait.
Mm-mm.
All right, so our releases this week, um, for the week of August 30th to September 5th. On September the 3rd, we get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I'm
Now,
excited.
this one is only in cinemas, so if you want to watch it soon, you're going to have to go to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's going to change with the variant
This is
kind of,
the test movie for it.
yeah,
They've said so.
but
We'll see.
obviously, if theaters decide it's not safe to be open, then what do you do?
Depends what
Um,
state you're in, I
I
guess.
I also expect the numbers based on what's going on today will probably be slightly lower than they normally would be
Mm-hmm.
because New Orleans is getting leveled right now.
Yeah.
I've already been looking at pictures, so obviously, hopefully everybody there is doing all right as they can. And on Amazon Prime on September the 3rd, Cinderella,
The new Cinderella, because I mean, there's only like
the new
45 of them at this point.
right. This is the adult version.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kidding. I, where the prince has a foot fetish. And
Right. It's just it's not about the shoe
uh,
anymore.
no.
Oh man.
On to games, Tyler.
All
On to
right,
games.
video games. So we had a lot of conferences this week. Gamescom is the biggest, I guess, news we have to talk about. We'll talk about it later. Bungie also had their conference that they do. They did try to do a show before every big expansion, which the next one is the Witch Queen. They had a 30-minute video that brought tears to my eyes while I was sitting here working and watching it. It was absolutely beautiful. The team of Bungie is some of the most phenomenal video game developers and just human beings, period. Like they had because it's their 30th anniversary is this year, and so Destiny's having a 30th anniversary event and all this other stuff you could pay for. But they did a whole video showing like all the charity and corporations they've worked with, like Black Lives Matter and all sorts of stuff. It was just very good to watch. And then of course we watched the Witch Queen expansion announcements and what's changing and what's coming in February 2022. And I'm gonna let you know, a lot of the games we're about to talk about in Gamescom as well comes out in February. I'm just gonna have to ask the whole month off if we're gonna be honest, because there's just too much. I know for sure the week of the Destiny expansion I will be taking off, just because it comes out on a Tuesday and I'm gonna be nonstop playing it. And I'm telling you, there's no way I'm not going to. So the work can go ahead and get ready for my PTO. But before we get there, Chris, Destiny had a new season that launched on Tuesday at the same time of the conference thing, if you want to call it that. Destiny's Season of the Lost. I've played quite a bit so far. So well done. I'm very heavily invested into the story. This is the prologue before the expansion. So this season will last all the way up until February. And it's already so good, and I can't wait. That I've been playing that. I tried to get to Psychonauts 2. Did not happen, obviously, because I could not get off of my addiction that will never end.
Heard great things about
Mm-hmm.
Psychonauts 2.
I really want to get to it, but every time I'm like, I sit down here in this chair, and I'm like, oh, I need to play Destiny. But maybe with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate's xCloud or Xbox streaming, whatever you call it, I can play that from my phone with my if I can pick it up my backbone here. So I might start playing it that way. I know that's not how I want to play it, but just to get some hours into the game, I might start it there or something like that. But what you been playing, Chris?
Yeah. Well, on console, I've been playing my usual stuff, right? I've been
Mm-hmm.
playing Diamond Dynasty and Ultimate Team and franchise and Madden. But I just yesterday, I'm not far into it at all. I started because I got a new phone. I had to get a new phone, and so I was trying out Injustice 2 on my new
Yeah,
phone.
it's a good game.
Yeah, it is.
The
It's
Red
fun.
Hood and from Titans really makes me want to play it again.
Hmm.
I've got it up here on my shelf
Yep.
somewhere.
So that's fun. I actually have the PS4 version,
Okay.
um, but I was like, yeah, just let me see what this does on my phone, because sometimes those games don't port over very well
Mm-hmm.
to a mobile device, and I mean I don't see any issues with it yet. So
Yeah, I mean it's just the same kind of moves. You use a little touchpad and just your fighting buttons. So, oh, but Chris, let's talk about Gamescom because we finally got what you've been waiting for, what I've been waiting for a lot of people have been waiting for. But I'm gonna go in order of everything we saw on Gamescom. Some of these we'll just speed right through. Some of these we'll take time to talk about. The first one they showed off was Saints Row. A brand new Saints Row opened up with a showcase with a trailer revealing the game. We got robot cat bike helmets, great hairdos, some brilliant sass, and some seriously huge rocket launchers. Simply called Saints Row, this is a reboot of the series rather than a continuation of the story from Saints Row 4. Did you ever play any of these games?
I think I played the first one
Mm,
back in the day. Yeah,
I've
but I didn't
played,
play any of the others.
I think I played all four of them, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm,
because those are games that got real wacky real fast. And that's where a
yeah,
lot of their audience came from. But this one looks more like a Grand Theft Auto, like a low key, down to earth kind of thing. And
yeah,
again, February. This one comes out February 25th, 2022. This is gonna be a packed month, and it gets
yeah.
more packed. So just wait. But I'm excited for this one. I will be getting it. And then the biggest one that surprised me the most the whole show was this one, Marvel's Midnight Suns. 2K
Hmm.
Games revealed the much rumored Marvel XCOM game Midnight Suns. It's described as a tactics RPG where the relationships you form with your superhero team is described as being as important as all the fighting and abilities. However, rather than playing as any of the one of the more recognizable characters, you will star as an all-new, fully customizable hero called the Hunter. She's the daughter of Lilith, the mother of demons, and the big bad that banded together characters like Doctor Strange, Wolverine, Iron Man, Blade, Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider, and more to defeat her. I don't know if you saw the trailer
That's
for
gonna
this,
be.
but it looks so good.
I didn't see the trailer, no, but I'm all in on the game already.
Dude,
I mean, this is.
when we get off of this, watch the trailer because there's even the song that they chose was a cover of Metallica. I forget which one of the songs it is, but it was really good. It's gonna be a fun game. Next, we saw Call of Duty Vanguard. We saw a nice little trailer from them. Was not really big into wanting to play this game until I saw this trailer. Of course, this is our first Call of Duty on the next gen systems, and it looks absolutely spectacular. And I cannot wait for it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Of course, it takes care of I forget this name every time. Different theaters in World War II. There's 4 different theaters you play as and play through, and I am all in. But Chris, here is the one that you've been wanting. Halo Infinite gets a release date finally of December 8th. Of course, it's a lot
Are
later
they
than
sure this time?
right. We were waiting. We didn't. We expected it to come this fall. We didn't think it'd be this late, but if you think about it, it's not competing with anything at that date. So your Call of Duty, your Battlefield, it's already out and everything, so you're not really going to be competing for it. So that's how I look at it, and I feel that that's why they did it as well. Sticking to its 20th anniversary release date, even if it kills the series, Halo Infinite confirmed that some of it will finally be releasing on December 8th. We also got a CG trailer introducing Spartan Commander Argrinia, I forget how they pronounce the thing, the leader of a new generation of Spartans, who will be important to the first season of Halo Infinite multiplayer. Microsoft also revealed a Spartan 117 themed custom Series 2 Elite controller and Xbox Series X. I pre-ordered the custom Series 2 controller and then canceled the pre-order. I wasn't going to use it, and it was $200, so I just kind of canceled it. So I know. A lot of people were really saying, if you bought it, you should have kept it and sold it for a little bit more of a price. I'm like, I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
Next game we have Cult of the Lamb. Then we had Midnight Fight Express, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Ahead of the next of the game's official release date, still to be confirmed for 2022. We found out that April is another playable character for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. She also obviously joins Leo, Ralph, Donnie, and Mickey, and seems to kick some serious ass along with the ability to revive the Turtles with pizza. We then got...
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Why? That makes sense. We then saw some footage from Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania. We saw Splitgate with its new season. Phenomenal game. Riders Republic made a thing on there. Century Age of Ashes. UFL. We saw more footage from Lego The Skywalker Saga, which is supposed to arrive in spring 2022. We saw Synced Off Planet, The Outlast Trials. Dokkan 5, or it's Dokev, I'm not really sure. No one really knows what this game is, but it looked pretty impressive. We saw Jurassic World Evolution 2, Far Cry 6, Blood Hunt, Park Beyond, Jet the Far Shore, Horizon Forbidden West. The delay we've all been dreading, but knew was going to happen. For Horizon Forbidden West has now been confirmed for February 28th, 2022. Again, yeah, it's February.
How did...
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna back up to one. How did Jurassic World look? Because we caught a glimpse
At the
a couple months back.
yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah.
They just talked a little bit more about it. Over the release date of November 8th. I will, if it comes to Game Pass, I'm gonna play it. If not, I'll wait till it's heavily discounted, because that does seem like fun though. So
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West, there were rumors of it being delayed, and obviously it is getting delayed, but there was a little bit of good news that came out of this little segment. Horizon Zero Dawn got a upgraded frame rate to 60 frames per second available now, which is going to come in handy for when we get to that. There's always a little bit of a lull between January and February from releases, and I'm going to be playing Horizon Zero Dawn again, so I'm going to have it updated and upgraded, so we'll go from there. It sucks, but again, take your time. The first game is my second favorite game of all time, and I mean, I still have my poster up over here. Take as long as time you need. I absolutely love Aloy, and I tried naming my daughter that got shut down real quick. But next we've got is New World. That showed a little bit more. Marvel Future Revolution, which is the mobile game. It's okay. I feel like it's got a little bit too many controls for a mobile game for me, but I haven't played it yet. I will eventually. We saw a little bit more of Tales of Arise and Luminaria coming to mobile. Deadmau 5 and Core. He said his name is not Dead Mouse, it's Deadmau 5. Okay, but it's still going to be called Dead Mouse. Anyways, the Jungle Book costumes are coming into Fall Guys. Replaced Age of Empires 4. Valheim Hearth and Home update. Crossfire X. Genshin Impact. Sifu. And then the last one was Death Stranding's Director's Cut. We saw a little bit more of what's going to be in there and another little trailer for it. I never played the first one, but with the Director's Cut, I think I will play it with the Director's Cut. So just to see what it's all about. And guys, that was it for... Do what?
Why I'm gonna call him Dead Mouse too, right?
Mm-hmm.
why correct people now?
Dude, I don't know. Like he said, hi, this is what his normal name is. He goes, I'm Dead Mouse 5. He says, not Dead Mouse. And everyone, because I was watching Kind of Funny react to it, and they were like,
Yeah.
After how many years? You can't just sit here and try and rebrand like that's not going to work.
Right.
So,
like you're not Prince,
right? You just can't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Notable new releases this week. The Medium is coming to PS5. Of course, it was an Xbox timed exclusive, but now it is coming to PlayStation 5 September 3rd. It's a big day for a lot of things. And then Chris,
it looks like a good game.
Yeah, I need to play it. I might play it during October just because it's more of a creepy game. And just I've heard mixed reviews on it, so we'll see. We'll judge for ourselves, if you will.
Yeah.
But that, ladies and gentlemen, has been NerdWide Podcast episode 39. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. I hope you're excited about the Halloween months as we are, and the fall months, if you will. Don't forget to share on all your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you use of this podcast. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at nerd_wide. You can follow me at Ty_Haynes and Chris at MavTN7. Of course, over on Facebook, we are at nerdwide.com. And that has been episode 39, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you wash your hands, socially distance, wear a mask if you can, and get vaccinated as soon as you possibly can. And we will see you again next week.
Later, guys.